Well, I wanted to embark on this project, Duty: The Life of a Cop. Basically, it's a trip down memory lane for me, as well as an opportunity to set the record straight about a lot of misinformation that have been put out from a number of different sources about things I have done and not have done. And certainly in this fashion, one can correct the record, and it'll be a lasting official version of the events that so many people have misinterpreted. Collaboration between Jerry and I really was a model of cooperation in the sense that we both knew our roles and responsibilities and the work that needed to be done and how we split that out. But at the end of the day, I could not have done it without Jerry, and I would assume that Jerry could not have done it without me. So we had that appreciation from the outset, and we worked, I think, very well together, and pushing one another to excel in whatever we did to the best possible outcome. And I think we're both very proud of Duty: The Life of a Cop, and the feedback I'm getting from so many people is that they appreciate the story, they appreciate the theme. Many people have recall of the various events that we have spoken about in the book. So overall, it was a good partnership, and I enjoyed working with Jerry. Jerry is very meticulous about detail, and when you look at how important that is, something that I certainly identify with as well. Absolutely would work with Jerry again, primarily because of that attention to detail, wanted to be absolutely accurate, being very mindful of making sure that everything was backed up with facts, and did all the research. So I'm very impressed with that kind of attention to detail, and the commitment to making sure that the book was absolutely pristine in terms of honesty, integrity, and the facts reported in there. I always planned to do a book, but never really found the time. So I kept collecting information, keeping information, always with that vision that once I retired, I would sit down and plow through all the material and sit down and put it all to paper. I never did retire. I still have not retired, and so I ran out of time, and it was a great opportunity to get on with this project, and of course would not have been able to do it without Jerry. And Jerry was, I guess, the person that kind of motivated me to get on with it, and I'm really, really pleased that we did this. I think that Duty: The Life of a Cop is an interesting passage over time of experiences from a perspective that I think is hands-on, feet on the ground, reality of the work, if you will. I think most people find it interesting. The feedback I've been receiving from people that I've known and worked with, even those people who know about those cases, who know about the work, who have themselves a distinguished career, they find it interesting. So I think the story is a very interesting one. I think that it sort of brings the reader to a different type of reality from what you see in the movies or television. I think that's what really interests people. The interest really is because people can relate to the things in the book, the stories told, the names named, and the experiences in there, I think are of great interest to people. And that's the feedback I get, that a lot of people have talked about how they've picked it up and couldn't put it down. And I had one email sent to me of recent date where the reader said that he read it in a day, couldn't put it down. So I think it's an interesting travel down not only my memory lane, but the memory lane of all of those of us who over time have read newspapers, watched television, heard the stories, and in some cases had intimate awareness of what it is that we're talking about in the book.